Well. It is certainly a crazy time in the NFL, and today I want to talk about the quarterback carousel. I have compiled a list of quarterbacks that I think are likely to find a new home this offseason. We've already seen our fair share of drama with the Goff-Stafford trade and all the Watson stuff, and now the Russell Wilson stuff. Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a Steeler for at least one more year, and nobody knows where Cam Newton is going to end up. So I made a list, and here are my projections of where I think these quarterbacks will land. Number one, let's start with the biggest free agent name out there, Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott is scheduled to be a free agent this year. He is the biggest fish out there. If the Cowboys do decide to tag him, that's going to be $32 million against the cap for 1 year because they tagged him last year. Now, I think Dallas is going to do that. I think he's going to be a Cowboy for 1 more year, but if he doesn't, watch out for the New England Patriots. As a Bills fan, I really don't want to think about that, along with the potential of Deshaun Watson possibly being in the division. That is too much to handle right now. So I'm going to put it off and say he stays with the Cowboys for at least 1 more year. Moving on, Cam Newton. So Cam Newton is coming off of the worst year of his career. A lot of people don't know if he can throw anymore, including myself after that shoulder injury. What better way to redeem yourself than to go reunite with your old head coach in Washington and prove that you still got it? I think realistically, this is probably the only option for Cam if he wants to be a starting quarterback. I don't see any other team giving him a starting job, and I think he has the potential to flourish there as well. Terry McLaurin is sick. Logan Thomas had a breakout season. They have a couple good backs as well. If he goes there, he'll without a doubt have more weapons than he had in New England. I think that's his only option, and I think also that's the best place that is going to set him up for success. Mitch Trubisky has not played up to the level of fellow first-round draft picks Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, but he is good enough to land with the team. I don't think he will get a starting job right away. I think that Trubisky is going to land with the Eagles. I think he has a similar skill set to Jalen Hurts in that at least he can move. So if Hurts does go down, they don't have to drastically change the playbook. I know before Carson Wentz got traded, their coach was saying that there's going to be a quarterback competition, and although Hurts, in my opinion, should be their starter, I don't know if he thinks that he should be their starter. So I could see Trubisky going there, battling it out for a starting job, probably losing to Hurts, but then becoming the backup. He's going to take the MVP trophy to the city of brotherly love. Let's move into a couple trade scenarios. So the Russell Wilson drama is insane. He has these 4 random ass teams that he said he wanted to play for that make no sense. Who the hell knows what's really gonna happen? I have a feeling that the team is definitely shopping him. Wilson is in his early 30s, obviously had the Super Bowls earlier in his career. Since then, although he's been a top tier quarterback, he has been unable to even get his team to the NFC Championship game. They haven't really contended. They've had their times in the regular season, but in the playoffs always seem to fall short. If a team's willing to give the Seahawks 3 first-round picks, I could definitely see them doing it. I think that team will be the Chicago Bears. I think Wilson goes with the Bears this offseason. I think the Bears are desperate enough where they really haven't had a good quarterback in the history of their franchise. And if a guy like Russell Wilson is potentially up for grabs, then I think they're going to jump on it right away. Matt Nagy is on his last leg there. When he first got the job, he was considered to be a very quarterback-friendly coach. Now, who knows if it was actually Mitch Trubisky not being good enough or him not putting Mitch in the best situation to win. But it's safe to say his chances of succeeding will go up immensely with the addition of Russell Wilson, and I think instantly the Bears become a contender. So Ryan Fitzpatrick has bounced around a lot in the NFL. So Fitz has been on more NFL teams than any player in the history of the league. I think that guy should be in the Hall of Fame just for that reason. Not really. I went back and forth on this. I think there's a few places Fitz can land, but after thinking about it, after kind of having my board of where I thought all the quarterbacks would go, there was one open spot, the place where Russell Wilson just left, Seattle. If Russell Wilson does leave, I think Fitz would be a perfect fit in Seattle. I could see Seattle drafting a young guy, maybe not wanting to start him, similar to what happened in Miami this past year. Fitz could maybe start, show him the ropes. I don't think Pete Carroll will be subbing him in and out. I think he'll give Fitz the year, and I think Ryan Fitzpatrick with those two receivers has the potential to do very well and maybe even reach the playoffs for the first time in his career. Of course, for this to happen, Wilson needs to be moved, but that's how I see that shaking out. Keeping it going, Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is staying in New Orleans. He knows the playbook. I think they were grooming him. I think this year they had Taysom Hill play over him because of the incentives in Jameis Winston's contract. They had to pay him a crazy amount of money if he played a certain amount of snaps, and I don't even think they wanted to get close to that because they're already in cap trouble. They can't afford barely anybody. They're kind of screwed. I believe that was worked out behind the scenes. I think Winston knew before the season was over that he was going to be the starter of the New Orleans Saints in the year 2021, and that's what I see happening. I see him returning to the Saints and being the starter next year, backed up by Taysom Hill. All right, I'm going to shoot you a potential trade. A trade I think that's going to go down in the offseason is Sam Darnold for Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, I think Sam Darnold at the beginning of the year is without a doubt going to have a new team, and I think that team is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. I think Darnold with Kyle Shanahan can rejuvenate his career, finally start climbing that ladder and fulfilling the potential that we all know he has. It's funny what bad coaching will do. He was considered one of the more polished quarterbacks coming out of that draft class, ahead of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. He's still pretty young. He's playing on the last year of his rookie deal. I just think the dude got the shaft in New York, honestly. And I hope for his sake that they do give up on him. I think if he goes to a team like San Francisco with that West Coast style, easy read offense, then he will succeed. That team has a good roster when healthy. I think he's just the guy for them. As far as Garoppolo goes to the Jets, I don't think a lot of teams trust Jimmy G because he's hurt all the time. Yes, he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, but he only threw like 8 passes in that NFC title game. When it came time to make a big throw in that Super Bowl against the Chiefs in 2019, he had Emmanuel Sanders open and just missed him. I'm not saying he's not good necessarily, but I don't think he's good enough to bank on him when his injury history has just been insane. If I'm the Jets, I'm going to draft a guy and then I'm going to start Jimmy Garoppolo and just see how it plays out. Some more quarterbacks on the move in free agency. I have Jacoby Brissette going to the New England Patriots. Now I have him going to the Pats, but I do not have him starting for the Pats. I have the starter for the New England Patriots as Alex Smith. I think Alex Smith fits the Patriots offense to a T. Smith likes to get the ball out of his hand quick, dump it off to his running backs. You saw it a lot when Smith was playing. He'd just get it and dump it off to McKissick really quick for a 5-yard gain. That's the Patriots' MO. If you remember Tom Brady when he was on the Pats, that's all he did was get it out of his hands quick. I think they're going to want a veteran quarterback whose game is to get it out of their hands quick, and I think Alex Smith is great with that. Marcus Mariota. So Marcus Mariota is an interesting case. He looked really, really good in like a half of football. They didn't end up winning the game, but the one takeaway from that game is like, damn, Mariota looks good. I think Marcus Mariota lands in Miami. I don't think Tua is going to have the proper time to grow. I think Brian Flores wants a guy like Mariota to be in the quarterback room, to mentor Tua, and then eventually when Tua starts sucking up the joint, to go in and be his Ryan Fitzpatrick. Mariota obviously wants to play, and I think he can play. It sounds like a potentially toxic situation, but a situation I can see the Dolphins putting themselves into again. Deshaun Watson to the Carolina Panthers for Teddy Bridgewater, 3 first-round picks, and possibly Christian McCaffrey. Now, the Panthers owner came out and said he is hell-bent on finding a franchise quarterback. Well, this is his lucky year because there are potentially a couple moving, and none are at the top of their game more so than Deshaun Watson. I see Deshaun Watson going to Carolina for a king's ransom. Bridgewater unfortunately goes to that sinking ship that is the Houston Texans. But as far as Watson goes, I like this for him. DJ Moore is an emerging star. If Christian McCaffrey stays there, he would have a Swiss Army knife. Matt Rule seemed to do all right his first year. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to put Deshaun Watson in a bad situation. Any place is better than Houston, and if Watson ends up going to Carolina, that is certainly a win for him. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please do me a solid, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. Also, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'm always willing to chat it up with you. If you think Sam Darnold is staying in New York, or you think Ryan Fitzpatrick's coming back to Buffalo, let me know. Anyway, round out the week tough. Until next time, go Bills.